Part 1. The Scars of Silence. Chels was born into a home where silence screamed louder than words. The cracked walls of the tiny Florida apartment absorbed the shouts of anger, the slammed doors, and the sobs muffled into pillows. Her mother floated between men and minimum wage jobs, a ghost more than a guardian. Her father, if he ever existed beyond a name on a forgotten birth certificate, was a mystery. Chels learned young that in a noisy world, her own voice didn't matter. Birthdays passed unnoticed. Achievements hung invisible in the air, like smoke no one wanted to breathe. The only attention she ever got was when she acted out, breaking a neighbor's window, stealing candy from the gas station, pushing a classmate off the jungle gym. Attention, Chels realized, even bad attention, was a currency. And she was broke. By the time she was 16, she was desperate for a stage. Any stage. When the first smartphones came into the neighborhood, she saw Lifeline, recording videos, posting random stunts online. For once, even if the audience was strangers in other states, someone was watching. They had to. They had no choice. The first video she ever posted was of her setting off fireworks in a Walmart parking lot. It barely got 300 views, but those 300 views meant everything. They were 300 silent strangers screaming, "I see you." She dropped out of community college after one semester, chasing that feeling like a junkie. New videos every week, eating absurd food combos, painting her car neon green, playing pranks on bus passengers. Some got laughs, some got hate. It didn't matter. Hate was just a louder kind of applause. The silence was dead. And for once, Chels felt alive. Part 2, Stardom Rising. Chels's TikTok account started with a single follower, herself, but her obsession with being seen became fuel. Every day she posted fried Oreos, watermelon pizza, rainbow grilled cheese. Anything colorful, messy, absurd. Slowly, numbers crawled upward. 500 followers, then 1,000, then 10,000. Her big break came when she invented the air-fried everything challenge. The rules were simple. If it fit in the air fryer, cook it. Twinkies, marshmallows, hot Cheetos crusted pickles. She filmed herself biting into each monstrosity, laughing through the gag reflex. The audience ate it up, figuratively. Brands started emailing, air fryer companies, seasoning startups, frozen food brands. Checks arrived. For the first time, she had money in her account, a leased Jeep Wrangler, and an actual apartment with her name on the lease. But the feeling of fulfillment was hollow. The views were addictive, but unpredictable. One week, her air-fried sushi burrito video would pull 8 million views. The next week, her ketchup ice cream hack barely cracked 30,000. Worse, there were new copycats, younger, hungrier influencers jumping on every trend she pioneered. They had ring lights, managers, partnerships Chels could only dream of. The comments began to sting. This is old? She fell off? Another desperate video. She lay awake at night, staring at the numbers, obsessively refreshing the analytics screen. The curve that had once risen like a rocket was plateauing, dipping. Every dip was a rejection. Every plateau felt like abandonment. Her hair thinned from stress. The fake smiles on camera grew exhausting. When she smiled for videos, her lips trembled at the corners. The girl who had once just wanted to be seen was now terrified of being forgotten. Then came the day that broke her. August. The Florida heat pressed like an unwelcome hand on her skin. Her latest video, a collaboration with a vegan snack brand, had flopped spectacularly. Just 18,000 views in 24 hours. She stared at the screen, numb. The inbox dinged. Subject: partnership cancellation. Brand values misalignment. Another brand deal gone. She dropped her phone onto the kitchen floor and sank to her knees. The noise of the outside world felt muffled, distant. That old childhood silence had come back to claim her. She whispered to the empty apartment, "What do I have to do to make them watch me again?" The answer was waiting in a plastic grocery bag by the sink. 2 live blue crabs, purchased for an abandoned seafood boil video idea. The crabs clawed weakly at the plastic, seeking escape. Chels stared, breathless. A wicked, terrifying idea slithered into her mind. What if I air-fried them alive? Her first reaction was horror, but then she thought of the clicks, the outrage, the engagement. A voice inside whispered, "If they won't look at you for what you love, they'll never look away from what they hate." Her hands trembled as she reached for the glass air fryer. Part 3. The Last Straw. The kitchen lights glared white and clinical, like an interrogation room. Chels stood frozen, staring at the crabs clawing weakly at the thin plastic bag. The apartment was dead silent except for the soft clicking of their shells. Her heart raced. She could feel her pulse hammering against her temples. The camera sat on the tripod, already set up for a new video. The red standby light stared at her, expectant. Chels gripped the counter's edge to steady herself. You can still back out. Throw them in the pot. Or let them go. Don't be this person. But the other voice was louder. They're already bought. They're food. It's legal. Everyone does seafood boils. This is no different. Besides, think of the views. The headlines, the noise. You'll trend worldwide. Her hands moved as if possessed. She cut the bag open. The crabs spilled out onto the cold marble counter, legs flailing. One tried desperately to crawl away. Chels gently nudged it back into place with trembling fingers. She whispered under her breath, "I'm so sorry." She preheated the glass air fryer. The heat spiraled upward with a soft hum. The appliance glowed ominously under the kitchen lights. With a deep breath, she picked up the first crab. Its legs clawed at the air. For a horrifying second, their eyes seemed to meet. It writhed in protest as she lowered it into the glass basket. Then the second crab. She seasoned them both quickly. Old Bay, paprika, garlic salt. Her hands shook violently, scattering the bright red powder across the counter like blood spatter. The air fryer lid clicked shut. The timer beeped. 15 minutes. The sound of the fans roared to life. Chels collapsed onto the floor, back against the cabinets, arms wrapped around her knees. The whirring of the air fryer filled the silent room. She could still hear faint tapping from inside, a sickening, muffled struggle. The tapping grew weaker, until there was nothing. She wept. Not soft, graceful sobs, but ragged, gasping wails that left her dry heaving into her elbow. What had she become? The timer beeped. Mechanically, she stood up, wiped her face with the back of her hand, and clicked record. The red light blinked on. Her voice cracked as she forced her trademark cheerful tone. Hey guys, today we're doing something crazy. I air-fried live blue crabs, and this is what happened. She plated the crabs under the harsh glow of her ring light. The shells glistened a deep, terrifying crimson. The last shot was a bite. She picked up a claw with shaky hands, cracked it open, and pulled out a shred of white meat. Into her mouth. Chew, swallow. Her smile was hollow, robotic. Spicy. What do y'all think? Would you try this? She hit stop. The apartment fell silent again. The upload button loomed. You can delete it. Right now. No one ever has to know. Her finger hovered for an eternity. Then, with numb finality, she tapped post. The video was live. The point of no return had been crossed. Chels staggered to the bathroom and vomited violently into the sink. When she returned, the TikTok notification icon was already pulsed. The views were climbing. Fast. Part 4, the viral collapse. Within minutes, the video exploded. At first, Chels sat frozen, staring at the climbing numbers like a doomed passenger watching floodwaters rise. 10,000 views, 50,000, 120,000. The comment notifications came so fast they blurred into one continuous chime. The first wave was shock. The second wave was horror. Dutif, did you really cook them alive? This is disturbing as hell. I've followed you since 2020. Unfollowed. This is disgusting. This is animal abuse. I'm reporting this. They're literally screaming in there. You're a monster. The hashtag started trending by midnight. Crab cruelty, justice for the crabs, air fryer abuse. By morning, local news picked it up. Then national. Then international. CNN, TikTok chef sparks outrage after air frying live crabs in viral video. BBC, cruelty or culinary innovation. Influencer faces backlash. Vice, the dark side of viral clout when shock content crosses the line. Animal rights groups released statements condemning her. An online petition demanding TikTok permanently ban her account soared past 2 million signatures in 2 hours. Her inbox filled with hate mail. You deserve jail. I hope someone does the same to you. You're an evil, soulless human. You're done. Her phone rang nonstop. Brands pulling out of contracts, management companies cutting ties. Chels unplugged it and left it face down on the couch. She crawled into bed, curling into a tight ball beneath her blanket, shaking uncontrollably.